Billing Committee, it's 6:24. Calling to order, number 2, review and discussion of options in extent the contract of RFP 0618 GCP General Construction and Painting for 1 additional year. Mr. Gardner?
Do you want Mr. Cavazos to speak on that? I don't see Mr. Garcia. Oh, I do see Mr. Garcia. Do you want Mr. Garcia to make that recommendation? He was sleeping back there.
Long day. This is just a contract. We have contractors on that list, and it's just general maintenance that the district may need, and we're just gonna go,
Go on an as-needed basis.
yeah, for another year.
General
Just-
construction, painting, nothing major.
Okay,
Agenda item?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
yes.
You guys may as well stay.
Number 3, review and discussion of options to extend the contract of RFQ-0318 GIM glass installation and materials district-wide for 1 additional year.
Yes, sir. This is just an extension of a contract that we went into last year. It's just basic glass
Glass replacement.
glass
throughout the
replacement
district.
throughout the school district. I think we had one proposer, Lone Star, that had won the bid, so we just want to continue that for 1 additional year. And now it's on an as-needed basis also.
Yes. Glass.
Agenda item?
Agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Number 4, consideration of bid for RFQ-0419 CESSBP Civil Engineering and Survey Service for Bond Project.
So the board received those,
Yes.
remind me, Mr. Palacios, about a week and a half ago to review. I know that Brighton has reviewed them. They can make a recommendation to you, or if the board is ready to make a recommendation or discuss, I think that's what this item is for.
Yeah, and if I can cover you, on the engineering side, you had 3 submittals, Guzman y Munoz, Casa Engineering, and South Texas Infrastructure. We've reviewed all the packets, all qualify, they're all certified. They have extensive experience in the valley as well as throughout the state of Texas. So all of them are available to be considered. In regards to local, you got South Texas Infrastructure, San Benito office, as well as Mission. Casa Engineering has an office here out of Harlingen, and Guzman Munoz has an office out of Mercedes. Now, the reason we put this on and we went out for RFQs was just in case there's going to be any need for civil engineering or surveying. This pertains to anything that's on-site, off-site utilities, nothing in the vertical construction. All those services are going to be rendered through our architects. So this is a very limited scope. It may be very limited, but we wanted to make sure we had these RFQs go out so you can pre-select so that if in fact there is a need, that they're already on hand to be able to provide this service. Some of the, and I'll forecast some of it, there will be extensive survey work on the performing arts as well as an auditorium, limited on the multi-use practice facility. In regards to the access off the frontage road, we're doing a lot of the work right now through TxDOT, but there's going to be some limited scope when we get into the design of the box covers to do the crossing. But we're going to limit their, whatever we can do, we're going to cover it. But we just want to make sure that we have someone on hand in the event that there's a need. And we're open for any questions or if the board has any.
Thank you.
Well, he made 3 recommendations.
We have to pick one or one.
We have to pick one, so if you all went through your package, any recommendations?
Yeah, I recommend South Texas Infrastructure. And the reason why I say that is because, number one, they have if and when we do need them, they're local in San Benito. And they also have an office where, Mr. Palacios?
So they have an office in San Benito as well as a Mission.
Right.
All 3 firms I'm very familiar with. South Texas Infrastructure is Julio Cerda. He's a principal owner there. Mr. Munoz is out of the Guzman Munoz group. And then the last one is Mr. Francisco Medano is Casa. In regards to South Texas Infrastructure, Mr. Cerda is a native of San Benito. He's done a lot of TxDOT work. One of the things that we're envisioning the need for is a lot of coordination with the city. He has some prior city manager experience. He's, I think, 10 years in the city of Mission. So he's aware of wastewater, water. All the other ones can do it just as well. But at the end of the day, you know, we felt that the board should have the discretion to choose who they want to work with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his packet was pretty impressive with his, you know, with his experience. Thank you, sir.
Can I add something to it?
Yes, sir.
There was a recommendation. Any other recommendation? Okay, so we'll go ahead and go with South Texas agenda item.
So we'll prepare that agenda item for the 14th.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Number 5, consideration of bid RFQ 0419 GICM TISBP Geotechnical Investigation Construction Materials Testing Inspection Surveys for bond project.
So this on geotechnical, they're going to have some role in the vertical construction project as well as some offsite and onsite work. The reason why it's critical is you need a third party to perform a lot of the materials testing. Right now, it's limited to the performing arts and the natatorium. We did proceed on the indoor with Robert Kistner. So they're providing, matter of fact, they've already finished their geotechnical survey and provided the results already. So this is, again, it's going to be limited. On the pre-scope, it's going to be for the construction. And then we're going to have materials testing throughout construction as well. So we leave this matter before you. Again, all firms are qualified. All of them have extensive experience. You had 5 submittals. The district has been using Robert Kistner, but that doesn't limit you from using any of the other firms. You had Guzman Munoz. You've had Terracon, Millennium Engineering, and Earthco. Again, this is one item that we feel that the board should have the discretion to decide who they want to do business with. Again, it's up to the board. All of them are capable of doing it.
Any recommendations? Ladies?
You know, there's so much information that she and I would like to wait a while, maybe. I can't wait till next meet.
It can.
And when
That
will be the
one,
next meet? When will be, we can do it as soon as possible, whenever you think it's proper?
We have to put in an agenda item also.
Let's do that.
Well,
I guess if we have any questions, we can ask, you know, Mr. Palacios here.
Okay,
Yeah.
very
And
good.
just to go and see where their office is at and see how you guys feel
Okay.
comfortable, and then we can proceed with selecting somebody if you guys see fit.
Okay, that sounds,
Mr. Palacios, can you go,
Great.
I mean, how many others are 4?
so there's 5.
There's 5, can you-
Typically, you want to make sure that everybody has their way of reporting. I'm not saying that all the reports are going to be different if you suggest using multiple firms, but in this case, all firms are very, very capable. The most prominent firms are going to be your Terracon, Robert Kistner. Millennium is more local. Terracon and Raba are more national firms. I know the district has been using Raba, not that I'm advocating by any means, but again, the board should decide who they want to do business with. If in fact you decide to do, all we're considering right now is the natatorium and the performing arts. So I would suggest that when you do select one firm for both projects. Now, work loads, we did do an assessment. Terracon does have the contract for the county courthouse in Hidalgo County, so they're very successful in getting work, but they're very busy too. So just keep that in the background. Not that I'm not advocating, they're good at what they do. But one of the things is your materials lab could dictate the pace of your projects too, so keep that under consideration. But we'll remain available if there's any other questions, and if you need us to break down the RFQs, we can do that as well. But again, on materials testing, all of them have proven track records that they've done the job. They've done their jobs well.
well, you know, I always, when I go shopping, I like to keep my money here in San Benito. I like
Yes.
to go to Harlingen, you know, and I like to go with the best who's going to give me the better price. And I think what we're seeing here and what I want is to be able to get someone who's going to do the job, but somebody who's going to be local, somebody that the people will appreciate and that people we know and have a good reputation for the job they're going to do for us, because we want, of course, our money's worth. So
Yes.
that's the way I see it, that's my personal
Absolutely.
opinion.
EarthCo, again, has a Harlingen office. Millennium Engineering has an Edinburgh office. Guzman Munoz has a Mercedes office. Again, all are very capable firms.
Well, I kind of just want to make a recommendation also, being the fact we hired a project manager to do the things we don't understand, and this is why we rely on you a lot. So kind of your recommendation sounds like terrain or Turan. I don't have my book with me.
Turcon,
but,
yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'd like to propose Turan, and being the fact that he works for the county also. I don't know where they are from, okay? I'm just based, the project manager, this is why we hired you. Also.
If I can, we'll just anticipate an item on the agenda for the 14th. What I can do in the interim, meet with you or be available to you all to go over the packet. If we feel that we're not ready to go, we'll get a feeling for your, through your superintendent. Second? Yes, absolutely. We'll make ourselves available tomorrow.
No, nothing. Okay, well, so we'll postpone it.
So I think we'll leave it on the agenda, but it won't be under consent agenda. They'll make a motion for who they want next Tuesday. Is that the recommendation?
That would be the recommendation, just so there's some
That gives them a week to
consensus and the
decide.
majority
Okay.
of the board
So-
decides.
Okay.
Again, and I'll test, you're not gonna you won't make a big mistake on the materials testing, although it's a critical job. They all have the pedigree, they all have the experience, so, you know, we wanna make sure that we're real receptive to who the board wants to work with.
Okay, so, agenda item. Okay, number 6, consideration of architect services agreement between San Benito CISD and Rafa Architects.
If I can hand out, backup information. And if I can get the ROFA group to come on up. We've had multiple negotiations meetings with the ROFA group. Some of them were held here and some were held in our office. We were able to successfully get a competitive rate on their architectural fee. They have a proven record. Along with the packet, the first 2 pages highlighted will identify the rates for basic services for the natatorium and performing arts. And then you have, these are very specialized buildings. So it's not uncommon whatsoever to have your sub-consultants and specialties pertaining to the aquatics as well as your performing arts. On your second page, identifies, and I highlighted, identifies the budget that we're setting as a district has set. And then you got some relevant experience along there. And then we have the AIA document, which is what was provided to us, and we went ahead and kind of redlined. We do have some cleanup on the contractual agreement, very minimal, but for the most part, we're here to kind of discuss the rate, and we feel that ROFA has done a great job in being considerate to the district. They are very capable. They have a very experienced team that they're going to assign to these projects. The level of service, we feel we're excited to work with them, and we think that it's going to be model projects for San Benito CISD. If we want to talk at length, we're open for any questions, if the board has any. And then I'll leave it for ROFA, obviously, it's our contract.
Can I just ask one question here real quick? This is the numbers we've been going back and forth on page 2, under section 1.1.3. The $20 million was changed, that's accurate, but that should be excluding design fees. That should be actual construction costs, correct?
Yeah, and these are some of the things, we've been working all day,
I know.
the last few weeks, last few months. And not that we weren't coming into an agreement, it's just a very specialized bill, and there's a lot of moving pieces to it, and there's a lot of things to discuss. We'll make that change. We'll make sure that that's in the contract as well. But we feel we got a good rate.
Agenda item. Okay,
I'll turn it over to Mike and Manuel if they have any comments. Certainly, they probably have a few comments.
I really have none. I'm just excited, real ready. Manuel and I are very ready to go to work. The process that we've gone through right now, as Joseph has mentioned, is really very typical of projects that have a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of specialized consultants involved in it, and we want to make sure that they have the room in their fee to do all the things that need to get done, from acoustics to, theater rigging to, the pool consultant on the natatorium, all those things. We just want to make sure that they can properly do the best job they can for you. So thank you very much for considering us, and we can't wait to get started.
Yeah, we want to thank you all so much for Mr. Palacio, I want to thank you all so much for the urgency. On our behalf, we just want to be good stewards of, of the opportunity we've been given to promote this, this bond that, our community preciously holds us responsible for, but yet our kids and our parents and our constituents are pretty excited. So I just want to thank you guys so much for coming to an agreement, and let's get the ball rolling, because, everybody's excited. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Agenda item, okay. Committee concerns?
No concerns, but what we do want to do, and if it's okay with the superintendent, we've had a couple of design meetings on the indoor practice facility. We have archived everything that's been worked on to date. It's really for your viewing. We are anticipating a workshop coming within the next week or so. We'll be scheduling that in, but I just want to leave you at least with a lot of the work that's been done in the last two meetings that your superintendent as well as others have been in. We've had stakeholders that attended these meetings. Again, it just talks about the first meeting, the second meeting, so there's a lot of information in there. Not that we're leaning to one versus the other, but at least brings you up to date with where we're at related to that project. It's the same thing that's going to happen on the performing arts as well as the natatorium as well, but I want to leave that for the board, at least for your review.
Thank you. Adjournment at 6:41.